Hot. Not thinking, the word slipped out. Looked like today was also going to be a true midsummer day. And that, while heading to the usual hospital, turned to a different place. Church. Since that day before going to the beach, it was my second time coming here. For some reason, Himiko-san did not try to meet with Chihiro-san. More accurately, it was probably not just Chihiro-san. Family and friends, anyone close. One could believe that she was avoiding them. And so like this, in her stead, I came to Chihiro-san. Same as before, as I quietly open the door, my feet step in. Chihiro-san. Satsumi-san. I've brought this. I spoke, I handed over the key I was entrusted with. Himiko-san said to hand this over. I see, thank you, in such heat. As she replied and accepted the key, Chihiro-san gave me her usual calm smile. Then, from her pocket, she took out a handkerchief. Sweat that was running down my face, she gently wiped it off. Thank you. So you can tell my niece-han for me. There's a time that she needs it. Tell her to just say, anytime. Alright. For a while she was speaking, Chihiro-san continued to dab away at my sweat. Well then. Wait a moment. May the bountiful blessings and grace of the Lord be upon you. Again, for my sake. For that question, there came no answer. Just the usual gentle smile faced me. When I left the church, it was like a deluge of cicadas' cries. The sun right overhead dropped sharp, black shadows during the peak of the heat. With all of this, Chihiro-san said she would go now to university, and when that ended, would come again to the 7th floor. Saturdays, he also went to school for the disabled. On Sundays, she helped with mass, so she said. I was sure that compared to people of similar age, she was entirely different. They would pass their time in self-centered and fun ways. It's a way of life where there was only Chihiro-san who followed the path. If one were Catholic, it was perfectly normal. I didn't know. Once again, coming to the hospital, followed the white tape along the floor and headed to the elevator. The elevator chimed. On the now familiar 7th floor, hastened towards the room where Himiko-san was waiting. Knocked on the door. Come in. Door with a click opened with a click as I stepped in. Welcome. It was probably hot too, wasn't it? Like I reply, I was caught by something else. Glad it seemed like that she was in the middle of digging around for something. Today is a bathing day, so I was getting ready. Now that she said so, I saw that set out around the table were wash basins, shampoos, and the like. I know, why don't you come in with me? Come in? That's right, together in the bath. What's so funny? That reaction just now was the best. You're normally so cool, so even more so. Now, we're both girls, so you don't have to be so embarrassed about it. Thought that objecting the Himiko-san wasn't a girl, but stopped. Well, let's go. But wait. Yeah, don't worry. Somewhere Himiko-san seemed to be having fun. Like she was poking fun at me and my hesitation. So she was pushing me from behind. She took me along. Would have splashed. See, washing the sweat off feels good, doesn't it? In the end, I was almost half forced into the bath. However, I had thought that it would be wide enough for us to get in together. There was enough room for two to manage. It's likely it had been built with the assumption that a helper or attendant would also get in. Instead of the size of the bath, I noticed something else. Couldn't help but fall silent. Is it unusual? Saying that, Himiko-san pointed at the large scar on her own chest. So large that my own small scar couldn't even compare. Well, I guess I'm also a girl after all. When I got this, it was a big shock. I hardly listened to those words. Even if I had wanted to reply, couldn't think of what to say. Oh hey, I'll wash your back, so sit there. Alright. So, together in the shower, she gently washed my back with a towel. Couldn't help but recall how it was like Chihiro-san had earlier wiped my sweat away. For me, I didn't know whether Himiko-san was a devoted Catholic or not. But both of them, without question, I believed were very kind people. Say, Himiko-san, why are you avoiding Chihiro-san? Just like I said before, because she's a kind and good person. Well, that's half of it. Then the other half is... that's a secret. There's also a rule after all. Rule. That had also been the word from before. And if so, what am I? Not a gentle and kind person, so Nia-san will be kind to me? That question, this time, Himiko-san also fell silent. And then, after a bit of thought, she's special, that Professor Food. Saying that again, would have splashed again. Hey, it's about time we got out. In the end, the conversation was avoided. And without Himiko-san's words, had many incomprehensible points, but full of secrets. But just maybe, I was being mixed with someone else in her eyes. Knocking the door opened with a click. So, have you finished eating? Hey, you're leaving the broccoli again. I really don't like them. Oh, there's no helping you. Even though previously she would eat them, now she'd come to leave them because she didn't like them. But this wasn't her sickness, it turned for the worse and her appetite dulled. Simply that she was warming up to me, probably. Thinking that also made me happy. Oh here, thermometer. You can take it in your mouth, but careful not to bite on it. Okay. A smile and the girl held the thermometer in her mouth. What shone on that face, the summer sun came through the windows that could only open 15 centimeters. Today I was again sat in the folding chair, directed a happy face towards me. It's interesting, no talking. Alright. Now maybe the thermometer's alarm rang, and I read out the numbers on the LCD. What degree? 36.5 Celsius. This is normal. I'm not going to do it in Fahrenheit this time. And I might want to go today too. The courtyard or ice cream? Both. Both is good. Which one? It might be hard to pick. There were no problems with the temperature, they would go to either one. This was with the doctor's acknowledgement, and lately it had already become a tradition. Oh, yeah. Other than that, a lady I didn't know spoke to me. A lady you didn't know? When? Last night. Who could it be? People who come to this place called the 7th floor was, in its own way, supposed to be restricted. First there were patients, the family that came to visit, and there were the doctors, nurses, and us helpers. Other than that, really, only the priests or sisters would come. That was supposed to be it. Was it someone's visitor? She was wearing pajamas. I think she's someone from here. That was a bit strange. Sure, in a normal ward, mingling of patients was common. Once in a while, by a chance meeting in this place, even lifelong friends or business partners would be made. But this 7th floor was different, because everyone was aware of their imminent death. Mingling between patients was almost unthinkable. And what did she say to you? I was asked which time. Which time? Yeah, she said that if it was the first time, she had something to teach me. What did she say? Said I didn't really understand. I was told she'd come again. What could that be all about? Come to think, there had been a rumor I heard. Among only the patients on the 7th floor, legacy continued to be passed down, of rules and the like. Of course I didn't believe it. When I asked my previous assigned people, of course they denied it. But such a legacy really existed? Just what on earth were they passing down? Any son? Sorry. Not meaning to, had been staring into space. Well, shall we go to the courtyard today? Look, once, today the weather isn't that hot. But leaving the ice cream is a bit sad. Then let's eat ice cream in the courtyard. Even if it was cool, it was midsummer. How much wind was there? The sunlight itself was strong. That's why, leaving the girl on the shaded bench in the courtyard, dashed to a neighborhood convenience store. Sorry for the wait. With the ice cream brought from the convenience store in hand, I ran back. So much sweat. So hot. Because of the flowing sweat, without thinking, flapped my skirt. Dashing in the midsummer, sweating was to be expected. Here, hasn't melted yet. Ice pop. Thank you. But where's the Nissan share? It's okay. It was a 60 yen pouch of soda ice. Like, exaggerated flourish. Took out the contents to show her. Ta-da! Comes with 2. Take that. Ice pop broke into 2 with a snap. Here, we each get half. Under the blazing summer sun, the 2 of us ate soda ice. Yeah, eating ice is the best in hot places, isn't it? Yeah, but it's melting a bit. We spoke about that, we ate. The flower bed before our eyes, pansies and gerberas bloomed proudly. Went to a use area from the other day. Even that would most likely have been planted in it again. I might want you to do that thing again. Sure, hold the ice for a bit. Okay. Both hands of the girl held 1 ice each. One was mine and the other was hers. took from my pocket the rosary. As always, brought my hands together quietly. So we give those who trespass against us. Give us our trespasses. Lord's Prayer also called our Lord. Probably anything would have been fine. Simply that I thought of her, and if she was happy with that, then it was enough. Okay, all done. Thank you. No, it's not any great magic after all. And I was simply one of the faithful. It was nothing more than an imitation. Probably didn't need saying, but none of those words were my own either. Say, whose words were they? Of course, Lord Jesus himself. Then there are other people's too? Yes, there are words of very great saints, popes, and words from many people. Oh, wow, Simony and Neeson knows them? To the girl who seemed impressed, I gave a nod. Of course, I didn't know them all, but reading the things related in a way to the gospel was my intention. Oh, I know. Hey, how about I give you this? I spoke, I once again took from my pocket the rosary. Is it okay for me to take this? Sure, I have another one. What's important is that this way we'll be able to do it together. I can do magic too? Well, I don't know if it's magic. With the rosary in her hand, the girl looked happy. Normally, patients at the 7th floor were admitted and discharged a number of times. For the girl, there was no home to return to. That was why she was always here. That's why I too was always by her side. Ella and the lawyers met, but soon it would be the 2nd month. Normally it was the time that the first discharge would have come. Here's today's lunch. I'll be going. Just like always, with lunch in hand, I headed to the hospital. Even though it was already halfway through August, the hot days still seemed to be continuing. The elevator bell rang. 7th floor. The nurses whose faces I'd become familiar with nodded my head slightly in greeting. I then saw in the hall was a number of patients. Since it was right when the morning temperature examination ended, they'd probably come with their helper for a walk. Suddenly, while looking at those people with white wristbands, a thought came to me. Residents of the 7th floor, couldn't they be divided into 2 groups? Patients who seemed almost to have taken a philosophical view and were calm. Those who seemed to always be busy doing something. That's fine. I'll be firmly supporting you. In a voice I recognized, I turned around and there was Chihiro-san. She was with an elderly lady in a wheelchair. Likely the person was Chihiro-san's assigned person. Say, walk again later? Could we do that? See, when the sun weakens a bit more, let's go out to the courtyard. Very calm way of speaking, she turned her usual gentle face to the elderly lady. Say, Chihiro-san, would you do that thing you always do? Yes, I can. I thought she would answer that way. She quietly joined her hands. Lead us not into temptation. And she offered up a prayer, a number of other words following. Say, Satsumi-san, do you always pray like that? Yes, because praying for someone is a good thing. Chihiro-san answered with her usual kind expression. But at those words, I felt something that nagged at me. Someone was why I tried asking a direct question. It can't be for yourself? That's... There her words stopped. There was no more response from her. The usual gentle face was also gone. First time I saw that expression on Chihiro-san, a simply troubled face was looking at me. After knocking, I opened the door. Like before, Himiko-san was gazing at maps. At my entering the hospital room, she gave me a brief glance, I soon returning. Is it interesting? Does it seem that way? So I answered. I sat down next to her and gazed at the maps also. Just as I thought, this sort of activity couldn't be considered fun, but these maps, what would they to Himiko-san, I wonder? You know, some floor people who seem to have taken philosophical views on everything. Perhaps they too wavered with some regret. If one were to give a comparison, then we are the condemned. Huh? You've been only informed that we will die, but that day when it will come is unknown. So we're hounded by that limited time. The condemned. Now that she said it, one could almost agree. Just as I had thought just before on this floor, there were people who were always busy. Rather, one could even think that because they knew they were dying, they were trying to be more lively. But perhaps for people being aware of death, maybe that's the first time they also were able to be aware of life. Once they come, those who are probably the ones who have already prepared themselves. Perhaps those who were pretending they have. And Himiko-san is, of course, the latter. The sage, there isn't anyone who could prepare themselves. She declared it plainly. If that were true, then I wouldn't be talking about the 10 things I wanted to do before dying, now would I? Saying that, once again, Himiko-san gazed at the maps. Then she turned to me, who was gazing at the maps in the same way. Tatsumi, your hair, growing long, isn't it? It might be. As she mentioned, it may have gone a bit longer, as mother hadn't cut it for me yet. Shall I cut it for you? Huh? Come, listen here. We'll cut it for you. With a sudden offer, I couldn't really grasp the situation, but with Himiko-san already walking ahead, I followed after. Then when we came in front of the nurse's station, she turned to the nurse inside. Hey, I'd like to go up, so could you lend it to me? There's nothing wrong with that. Is it a haircut? Yes, no one today after all. Then, after taking something from the nurse, Himiko-san once again walked down the hall. Tatsumi, over here. Walking a bit, the place we finally stopped at was the end of the hall. To be correct, it was just where you got off the emergency stairs, in front of an always closed large metal door. Up until now, I had never seen it opened, but most likely it was the entrance for the roof. Ta-da! And here the key comes on stage. Heavy metal door cracked open. For a second, the world turned a pure white. My eyes adjusted. What appeared before me was strong wind, summer sky, high fence. Many laundered sheets flooded in the wind. Today the weather's nice, isn't it? Perfect hair-cutting weather. I came out, looking up at the sky. Himiko-san spoke up. It's the first time, right? Coming here? First. Oh, that's normal. For hospitalized patients, it's a place they're absolutely forbidden to come after all. A reason, even without saying, could be imagined. Fan's about the same height as the 7th floor ceiling. The reason put it there was simple, if you thought about it, yeah, which is a very sad reality. It's also the same reason why the windows on the 7th floor only open 15 centimeters. So, shall we cut hair? Really going to do it? We'll be fine. Even looking like this, Nissan here is good at it. As she spoke, she pointed to a small bench before us. So first, have a seat there. Then she took out a big, clear white garbage bag. Next, put your head through here. Probably cut with scissors. There was a hole just large enough to pass one's head through the garbage bag. I put my head through as told, like a barbershop cover. It totally covered my body. Then, before my eyes, she made the scissors go swish swish. Well, miss, how long will you like it? Miss? Summary short, how does that sound? Just a trim? Understood. Laughing and running through with a brush, Himiko-san with a practiced hand then began cutting. Life was sound swish of scissors. Just now, she seemed to be trimming the hair in the back for me. She cut it strangely, that'd be bad. Holding that thought, I considered other things. She said that hospital patients couldn't come to this place. Said that the reason I could understand, be satisfied with. Then, unhealing of the fact that she was a resident of the 7th floor. Why was it that Himiko-san could come here like this? Also because she was a former helper, so she's trusted? Hey, Setsumi, what are you concerned about? Is it your own hair? Or is it something else, perhaps? Something else. That's fine. Well, I'll answer for you. Being a former helper and therefore being trusted, that's not the reason. Then what? See, even in these modern times. See, it's one of the prohibited acts for Catholics. First, I didn't understand what she was saying, but I soon realized. Suicide. Well, a former Catholic, you're still trusted, aren't you? It only makes you want to betray the expectations of a whim and try jumping past the fence, doesn't it? It's always Himiko-san said something where I couldn't tell if she was serious or joking. Luckily though, she wasn't, but just if suddenly she ran towards the fence, what would I do? Right now, I was the only one here. Somehow, while thinking only about that, I started feeling uneasy. Okay, something like this perhaps. Right, miss, the cutting is over. Thank you. As I replied, I accepted the hand mirror and looked at my hair. The bangs. I looked about 2 centimeters above the eyebrows. It was cut straight across. It's like a Japanese doll, or child with a... I know you're going to try to pronounce that, festival. Yeah, this word is apparently... No. It's a day celebrating children's ages 7, 5, and 3. Okay. Cause yeah, it's each individual sounding out. So Seichi is 7, Go is 5, and then San is 3. Interesting. It's cute, Setsumi. Well, you were busy worrying about the other thing after all. Okay, so you should worry about your own hair. At my somewhat sulking face, Himiko-san looked like she was enjoying herself even more. No matter how much you say it suits me or is cute, nothing like that, no persuasive force behind it. Helplessly, I gave a sigh. Then I asked about the thing that I had sensed from before. Say, this is just maybe, but are you seeing someone else in me? Quite a perceptive question, that one. Then, when she thought a bit, half of it might be that. And the remaining half? That's a secret. It was also made a secret. The same with the rules from before. Once in a while, there were things that Himika-san wouldn't talk about. Well, shall we go back? Putting away the scissors she used, the two of us then cleaned the space of Himiko's barber shop. Then, just when I thought she was walking towards the door we entered from, suddenly those feet stopped and turned around. That's right, about that final one. Thinking that it might be about time. The final one? About time? Likely he was referring to what she had mentioned before. 10 things to do before dying. Are you planning on going somewhere again? Yes, at the least. Here is no good. Sight is not enough. Was she saying that for jumping off, it wasn't enough? Those were her words as she pointed at the rooftop fence. This is something you don't know, but to be honest, should I be around my second time? What's this about? Everyone tries to be admitted into the hospital, though because I have connections I was always here. Then I was thought that the third time was the last. There is no fourth. Yeah, looks like my strength's close to its limits, you see. Thinking at the hospital also, I think will be the last time. Anyway, I think coming back on the same day would be impossible. If it's okay, come with me. Slowly the sky stained orange. As the burning sun sank and allowed Min Semi switched over to Higurashi. Min Semi are the cicadas that go Min, often heard in the day. Higurashi are often type heard at dawn and dusk. They're said to have a mournful cry. The place I suddenly stopped at was the usual schoolyard. Not really doing anything, just standing in front of the metal bar, thinking about the things from just before. Yu-chan, do you want to play with the bar? Perhaps out of consideration for me being there, a child playing nearby once again spoke to me. It's fine, don't mind me. At that reply, even while giving me a somewhat mystified look, child once again ran back to the group of friends who were playing. Just before, Himika-san said that returning on the same day was impossible. Where we were going that she didn't know yet, but I was told to make sure to get Mother's permission. It's okay, come with me. I won't force you. In saying that, we spent close to a month together and then say that this would be the last time. Again, the two of us ate today's dinner. Told the table were the usual dishes and fried things. Looking pleased, Mother beamed at the empty lunchbox. During the dinner, that was the same as usual, always, but thinking about what happened earlier. Say, Mother, is something the matter? Been invited to go on a drive again. Isn't that great? Himika-san, right? This time we'll be staying one night. That's fine, it doesn't matter. Despite the possibility of what if, she easily gave her permission. Then I'll make lunch for you again, okay? Thank you. I do my best in making them again. Well, that's right, today wasn't that bad either. Saying that the plate that she offered up was the usual fries. Oh, what's wrong? I like the fries, don't you? So naturally, very matter-of-factly, Mother offered them, seeming very pleased. But on those hands, it wasn't a pink manicure, said, slightly reddened hand happily offering the plate. Fries, all I had to do was quietly eat them. I don't know how much I hated them. I enjoyed it, it was fine. But was this really kindness, I wonder? Suddenly I was reminded of Himiko-san's words. And if whoever was punishing us were to not give us pardon, I really wanted to say I'm sorry to Mother, to Himiko-san. Say, Mother, gathered my courage and brought things to light. Himiko-san is someone from the 7th floor. What's the 7th floor? The hospice. She's a nurse there. I'm being perfectly natural, but that's how she was thought of. A patient there. What was that? A hospice patient. A hospice patient. A long, very long silence. Voice of the host on the television. Not as words, but as noise, rang out. Reality might have been a very short time, but for me it felt unbelievably long. Thought just maybe, never again would time move. I seen that never again. Could something go back to how it was, and I was afraid. Mother started crying. Already the smile that had been there before was gone. Hand holding a food thing was where it had stopped. No, she had been so happy that I made a friend. If I hadn't revealed it even now, she would have been smiling. Stop, Satsumi. Getting close to that sort of person. Mum is afraid. I think that someday you might also wind up like that. I'm sorry. As expected, I had no other words. That isn't kindness. Words which Himiko-san said to me, who silently ate the fries. But putting that into action, I've been told it would be very difficult. Water splashed loudly. Hey, hold still. If you tell me that it tickles. 7th floor's bathroom. Today was the 2nd bathing day of the week. Hey, I was soaked too. I'm sorry. It's fine. Lee-san would take a shower while we're here. Even though it could be called wide, compared to a normal home's bath, it was just slightly wider. When we two were in the tub, it was not to be tight. Not yet. Not yet. Just a bit more and shampoo's rinse will be done. Okay. Girl was squeezing her eyes shut and waited for the end of the shampooing. Even this kind of exchange was now becoming a familiar thing. Okay, next is Himiko-san's barbershop. Opening a hole in a garbage bag and passing her head through, I had the girl sit on a folding chair. There was no wind, it could also have been done on the roof, but mostly the cutting was done in the hospital room. Us helpers. Also gardeners, also cleaners, and occasionally barbers. Scissors clicked together as I cut. How is it? I tried making the front all the same. A little strange, maybe. Oh, you didn't like it being cut straight across? It's not it, but it looks too short. About this much is cute, isn't it? Like a kid. It's a bit embarrassing, maybe. So the shampoo's been spread from the still damp hair into the narrow hospital room. It was sat on the folding chair that always sat on. And from the garbage bag, she gave me a bit of a dissatisfied look. The floor spread 3 sheets of newspaper. There was a barber shop that used 2 small hand mirrors. A few days after, if one looked, it was towards the middle of August. Today also the girl was here. Today too I was here. Now the thermometer beeped. Okay, let me have the thermometer. Okay. Taking the thermometer that was in her mouth, I read the numbers on the digital display. What temperature? 36.2 degrees Celsius. Yeah, but that is fine. And then today, I screwed in the courtyard again? Nope, today I'm thinking of different plans. Different plans? But for that, this comes first. As I answered, I opened the paper bag I brought. Half of today's plan wasn't there. What's that? What new clothes for you? Yeah, but just before I got pajamas. These aren't pajamas. With a bit of a flourish, I took it out of the bag to show her. After all, it was something that used up over half of this month's allowance. And I had spent 2 hours debating on which to get. Ta-da! A one piece. How is it? You like it? Happily, the girl vigorously nodded many times. It was a one-piece dress in summery white with a yellow sunflower pattern on it. Okay, once you change, we're going right away. Going? Do you mean outside? Yes, the church. So I answered, I undid the buttons to her pajamas. Truth was, for a while, it's supposed to be for a while, she had said she wanted to visit the church. To be honest, going in pajamas would have been fine, but... well, since we're going to the trouble, right? Nissan, thank you. The new sun and sound of cicadas, today looked like it was going to be another hot day. Under that sky, we walked side by side. It was the first time we went outside the hospital. Of course, even if she said she wanted to go farther, I wouldn't be able to take her. No, not that I wouldn't be able to. No one would. That's why a place like the neighborhood church was the only place I could take her. The moment we reached the church, quietly opened the doors that I used passing through. No one around, is there? Well, this time, girl's expression turned slightly nervous. Even considering her age, it was probably her first time coming to a church. God is in here? That's a hard question. To be precise, it was probably a consecrated place for the worship of God. At least for me, here or not here, didn't seem like an answer I could give. But here the magic's effectiveness is different, right? Well, it's something like that. So we approached the altar and offered prayers. Pray for the girl's happiness. Even if the future were closed, at least until then, wish that she would be without regrets. And the remaining half, always holding many secrets, I prayed for my own forgiveness. So, already done? And shall we go back? I'll take you back here anytime you want, okay? Thank you. And as we made to leave... a Nissan. May the bountiful blessings and grace of the Lord be upon you. Try casting magic on the Nissan too. Seeing that, her usual cheery expression faced me. A single shadow and innocent smile faced me. Surely she didn't understand the meaning of the words. Ever even more so because of that, the sentiment made me really happy. Then half of the prayer used for my own forgiveness. Me, who could do nothing other than buy ice cream for her. It was painful. Right above was the sun, noisy with the cries of cicadas. Usually the hot days continued, and it was a summer day unchanged from yesterday. But a little bit changed with the girl. Up until now she had been so attached to me. But between one day and the next she came to hold a bit of distance. Knocked before opening the door. Good morning. Good morning. Exchanging our morning greetings, I sat down in the usual folding chair. Then, when I looked at the tray she had already finished eating. Oh, leaving so much again? I'm sorry. Between one day and the next she wound up barely eating. It's no good. You need to eat properly. But I'm not hungry. Gave a sigh. Oh, if that's the case, we can eat in the cafeteria, okay? Even that suggestion, no response. Before, even if it wasn't for ice cream, she'd happily go. To not eat. That, on the 7th floor, was a deadly thing. Unlike other wards, full-blown nutrient IV drips were not given here. Of course, there was some sugar contained in them, but the main purpose was rehydration. Where deadly meant exactly that. It was immediately linked to death. No, if you do this, very soon you'll get weaker. Get weaker? Yes, if you don't eat, your body won't be able to hold up. Then, after getting weak... Eh? The body gets even weaker. What will happen? Here my words stopped. My throat had swallowed the word die. Normally preaching about life and death was the duty of the church. Duty was also to support that. And here on the 7th floor, place where we speak to those who have lived life peacefully of coming death. Ever for a young lady? A girl who could not have been said to have fully lived. Just who in the world could speak of death now? Exactly in these times. Maybe I should have let her hear the words of St. Augustine or Lord Jesus, but me, I found half a prayer and buying ice cream was all I could do. A few days after, late night. As always, the girl ate very little. And at the girl's side, again I was sleeping in the spare bed. Girl coughed. You alright? Late at night in the dark hospital room, the girl was coughing. Right now, all I could do was gently pat her back. Past few days, because she had been leaving most of her food, it was visible that her strength was dropping. And now she was clearly avoiding me. I spoke to her, she would barely make a response. Times where she would speak to me on her own completely disappeared. Amongst all that, suddenly she opened her mouth. Say, Nissan. Yes, I'm giving it back. The rosary? She took out of her pajama pocket was a rosary. Without doubt, one I'd given her before. And also, I want you not to come here anymore. Why are you saying that? That's there who had stopped. Since a few days ago, the girl had definitely been acting strangely. Then, a single thing came to mind. This is something from a while ago, but she said a lady you didn't know had spoken to you, right? And just maybe, it has something to do with the rules? That question, there was no response. I felt the silence wasn't a no, but a yes. I'd been convinced it was a rumor, but looks like that kind of legacy did exist. And most likely the girl had heard of it. If it's okay, will you tell Oni-san? But it's okay, I'll absolutely keep it a secret. They said I can't tell anyone. She started to sob. Apparently she cried, even though until now, not once had she cried. Rules before all that I had heard was that they were only passed to the residents on the 7th floor. I suppose it was only the problem of those who were headed towards death. That was why, for me, I might not have the right to hear. No matter how close I was to Aloy, I could not become the dog who accompanied them in death. In the end, nothing other than someone watching from the side. Girl sobbing continued. I'm sorry, I won't ask anymore. Simply just patting her back. So that even just a little bit sooner, she would stop crying. Just a little bit sooner, she would smile for me. Just a little bit sooner. Girl continued to cry, but the legacy that was passed down was in there was simply to image. Don't eat. That was the shortest route to death. That was something that us helpers had also suspected. Going to a place like this 7th floor, people who died from the worsening of sickness was rare. Instead, seemingly all on their own, they gave up food, simply weakening and then dying. And that those were common. It's likely that was not for their own sake. Financially, psychologically, for various reasons. It was probably an act stemming from wanting to lighten the burden of those left behind. I, who had become close, was beginning to be pushed away for the same reason. For the one leaving was to pain those left behind just a bit less. Also, on top of hearing those rules, it was a chance she had learned that which I feared most. Say, Nissan, Dad, Mom, where are they? I'm going to die? That's... There my words choked. That doesn't tell me anything. Tell me the answer. I thought to say something, but especially at a time like this, I knew that I had to say something. Even though I was supposed to know what kindness should be, even though I was supposed to be a Catholic in order to speak of life and death, yet I could not find any words. Outside the window, there was a night sky that was beginning to lighten. In this narrow hospital room, the girl's sobs reverberated. Even though I was the professor, the doctor, I couldn't give an answer. This time, if I were a real doctor of the church, if I were Augustine or Jerome, maybe I could have answered with something. Outside the window was burning sunlight. Even though it was clearly morning, the heat let you know it was going to be another midsummer day. Since last night I hadn't seen Mother. Precisely, I'd been on the brink of tears myself. filled with feelings of regret and hadn't been able to see her face. I apologized to Himiko-san. I felt really sorry to do so, but didn't want to make Mother any more sad. There was a knock at the door. Tatsumi, are you awake already? Mother? I opened the door. It was just before Mother left for her part-time job. I'm sorry about yesterday. Well, here, two of you eat it together, okay? Huh? As she spoke, she handed over lunch boxes for two. Take care going. But it's fine. As your mother, I thought it over. You're my precious daughter, but I can't be you. Softly, but with her usual kind face, she spoke. That's why, as your mother, I want it so that Tatsumi can smile even just a bit more. Mother. I was headed to the hospital in my hand a tote bag with two lunches. Early morning. Roughly my feet stopped at the usual school. Looked like today the children hadn't come yet. As always, I was facing the metal bar. After gazing at it a while, I quietly stretched my hand out. Placing my strength into my arms, I pulled with all my might while kicking the ground. For just a moment, a sense of floating, and my body spun around. Someone thought I hadn't done in a month, and from that slightly higher place, looked around at the world. The arms that were beginning to shake from supporting my weight, the world that I could see. Me right now is one of the parts that build up everyday life, might not appear to be out of place, but that was an illusion. Not like I was accepted. Placing the school behind me, I headed towards the hospital. I'm sure she was waiting, so I hurried to her. Sorry to keep you waiting. Yes, parked in a rare parking lot again. I understand. So I responded and I accepted the car key. Then I gave the message to Himiko-san had trusted to me. He said this time would be the last. Last? Nishan said that? I was told to tell you that. I see. Sadly, that was all Chihiro-san quietly murmured. Why was it you, I wonder? Hando's words was definitely a dissatisfaction, clearly been pushed away. And loneliness. Sadness was there too. Being a kind and good person. Huh? Chihiro-san is different. Different? Yes, different from us. I'm sorry, but I don't get your meaning. I don't really understand it myself. Why did I say those words, I wonder? Exact reason not even I knew. But now, I had a feeling that I was coming to understand Himiko-san's feelings. Yeah, cause soon Tatsumi would end up taking her place and end up on the 7th floor herself. You know, even if I were different, I'm a sister. Yeah, up until now, 20 years together. Sisters, you know. Chihiro-san started to cry. Chihiro-san. Always composed and kind Chihiro-san was, for the first time, crying. I figure it was neither the pleasant helper nor the resolute Catholic. Just simply a helpless girl. Even though I was praying for Ani-chan, Chihiro-san started to cry. The only thing that I could do was gently pat her on her back. Some other words or technique, I couldn't find them. But Before Himeka-san had said that for people there were only 3 choices. As Himeka-san didn't want Chihiro-san to be a lolly. I'm sorry that you see such a sight. Don't worry about it. And I headed to Himeka-san. My right hand key a receipt from Chihiro-san. My left hand 2 lunches that mother made for me. In the end, I didn't know what the final thing was. Even where we were headed, I hadn't been told. Parking lot. Here, waiting for Himeka-san, who would probably be coming soon. Car called Eunice that I got to ride last time was today also washed to a shine. Surely Chihiro-san, the person we met before at the beach, was clearly keeping it clean. As I thought about that... Sorry I made you wait. Himeka-san finally appeared. It's always taking the key as if it were perfectly natural. However, her clothes were different from normal. They were probably work clothing, something like white overalls, and were clothes that you couldn't call pretty, even insincerely. Okay, what is all that? Okay, that was weird. I think that was supposed to be a placeholder for text, or otherwise, they coded it wrong by the looks of it. What are those clothes? For today, I won't do it without these clothes. Me in pajamas would have no meaning, you see. Even though normally, whatever she did, being in pajamas. Was that today she was now a resident on the 7th floor? Car door slammed shut. So see me get in. Climbed in the car. Like before, I was made to pull on my seatbelt. And once that was verified, quietly the engine started. Well, we're going. Looking up, the sun was up high above. Looked to be another hot day. Under that sky, with the big turn of the wheel, the unit slowly moved out. Exactly where we were headed, what we were going to do, I didn't know. However, just like this, Himeka-san's final drive begun. Reflecting the deep blue sky while running, red open top car. Light engine noise was raised as familiar scenery went by, drowning out the voices of the cicadas as it continued on. Passing the intersection in front of the hospital, moments we came into the large road. And so, where are we headed? A high place. And asking for a specific location. That I don't know. Huh? That was a bit unexpected. It was Himeko-san after all, so whatever she said, I hadn't planned on being surprised, but this is supposed to mean you'll be going as you please. Well, a bit different. Its words I meant high place. But just as it was so abstract I had no idea. Well, I think I'll decide by the time we get out into the national road. Was it already decided? Or was it something that could be decided so easily? Besides, even if a destination were decided, what about the route all the way there? Didn't mean to skip that. There's no navigation system, even though she was always looking at maps, she didn't look like she brought them today. Don't worry, no matter where we go, we won't get lost. How can you say that so confidently? Well, That's because I've already memorized all of Japan. Thoughts came as if it were perfectly natural. Was that possible? Not like I was doubting Himeka-san's words, but for me it was quite unbelievable. Besides, I need right now, if it isn't a navigation system, it's also not a doctor. Then what? Indeed. Then, after a moment of thinking, there's Professor Food. Again, saying that, Resta continued on, from the city to the suburbs. Then the green started standing out more. Lowering the speed, we drove while eating Mother's lunch with our hands. But Satsumi, I think that your family gave their permission, wasn't it, for staying out? By the way, in your family, I've become what sort of person? Someone from a normal ward, maybe a nurse? Guess I'm sorting through everything. Certainly until yesterday, that was exactly how it was. I let you know that you were someone from the 7th floor. Oh, it's quite amazing. Raise my opinion of you a bit. But it seems like you're unable to say you don't like these, hey? She spoke, what was in her hand were the lunch fries. Well then, Nisan, yeah, I'll teach you a special way. Something like this exists. Yes, it's very simple. You just need to come to like them. Certainly it might be exactly that, but don't say difficult things. Really? I think it's much easier than curing your sickness. Sure, it was exactly as Himeka-san said. The sickness were cured and all the problems would be solved. Mother, who had red in her hands, would not be sad. Once again smile and have beautiful manicures. Even that I understood. But it was something I couldn't do anything on my own. Compared to that, coming to like fries might be a simple thing. Roaster continued on, his red hood reflecting the blazing sky. Then, just as the sun was coming close to its highest point, what appeared before us was an even bigger road. As we were coming onto the national roads. She spoke, she pulled the car onto the shoulder and stopped. Decided on the destination? I'm still debating a bit. Hearing nothing other than a high place, just what exactly she was debating over, I had no clue. Guess if you're talking about high places, then it's Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji? I hadn't been mistaken, that was certainly what it sounded like. Whatever you say, it's #1 in Japan after all, right? That really couldn't be thought of as serious. Fuji height 3,736 meters. Really didn't need saying, but Japan's highest mountain. Didn't know too much, but I'd heard that snow remained even in the summer. But winter, I'd heard that only true mountain climbers could take it on. Well, shall we aim for it? Mount Fuji? Oh, what? That's too reckless. I know, I'm not stupid. It's not like I'm aiming for the summit or anything. You can go up to the 5th station by car. Even that's about 2,000 meters to it. You're saying that, it's not like we had to go all the way to such a place. Even for normal people, it already had a reputation. Two of us at least couldn't be called healthy. And in Himiko-san's case, she was arrested on the 7th floor. Besides, compared to the 7th floor, it's a place 100 times higher. Those words I just quietly listened to. It wasn't positive, but maybe Himiko-san really was going to jump down. Called before while on the roof, she whispered that this height is not enough, but looking at the fence. First we'll head from Route 6 towards the Tohoku Expressway. Just that announcement, Rosa once again began running. Heading towards National Road, she turned the wheel. From here to Mount Fuji, just how much distance was there? Me, I didn't have an estimate. All I knew was Himiko-san was not joking, but serious. And also, she most likely would not get lost. From the National Road onto an even larger road, then switched in onto the expressways. Same as before, perhaps because she was driving her usual safe way, cars in the high-speed lane were rapidly passing by. Eventually we came to a place with many tall buildings. It seemed that we entered the Tokyo area. When the Itabashi Junction, we'll get onto the... whatever that road is. Road that had been straight until now changed to that twisted, to one that was twisted. On the congested expressway, the roadster drove even slower. Just now, the one that passed was naughty. Before that was a Pajero, new model Geomaster. Occasionally, Himiko-san would name the cars that passed us on the expressway. It's a mysterious thing, isn't it? Just when I decided I was to go to the 7th floor, I came to love cars much more. As she spoke, she slowly turned the wheel, matching the large curve ahead of us. The expression seemed somewhat sad, but also somewhat nostalgic to me. Do you also like cars? I don't know. It's alright with you? Should I give this to you? With her free hand, she pointed at her own car. How about it? Would you accept? For a moment thought I shook my head to the side. Also then the problem of not having a license, but it was something that I shouldn't accept. I see, it was gone and turned me down. On the Tokyo Gaiken Expressway, we'll get on the Tamai Expressway. Those words and a big turn of the wheel, the car shook just a bit. Note that Himiko-san in the driver's seat was different from the usual. Not only were her clothes different, but somehow the strict expressions were common. High place that we're going all this way for to go to Mount Fuji. Without doubt, it was a height that the 7th floor's roof couldn't even compare with. Was she really planning on jumping down? Then, the 10 things to do before dying. Final thing, just what kind of purpose did it hold, I wonder? From there we connected onto yet another expressway. Already since we left the hospital, about 7 hours had passed. The area had completely become a place that seemed to be out in the middle of the mountains. Straight ahead on a sign were the words Mount Fuji Skyline. Most likely, we were already coming to a place quite close. Then the cloudless summer sky was at some point becoming a deep black evening. It started to come down. I looked, rain had started to fall from the dark sky. Wait a bit, I'll bring out the top. Pulling the car to a stop on the shoulder, Himiko-san started to fumble around for something. Then, after waiting a while in the light drizzle, it has a roof? Oh, it's not an amazing one. As she answered and looked at the close the left and right windows, Brewster came to a perfectly normal car. Till now, it had been a mystery as to what was done when it rained, but apparently took on this form. Once again, the Eunice drove off. Rain had truly begun to come down and obscured the road with pure white. Thick black rain clouds, even though it was still before evening, made it dark enough to let one believe it was night. The cool sensation struck my head. I looked up at the roof. There were a number of drops dripping down. Sorry, this thing is beat up after all. Just like the words meant, dripping leak started. Looking at how the rain was falling outside the window, didn't look like it would stop anytime soon. Asumi, put this on your head. What I was given was a large towel and was told I'd put it on top of my head. And Himiko-san's? Oh, fine. Besides, I think it's gonna stop soon. Then I'm fine too. Probably wouldn't say out loud, but this might have been the only towel. And even if she was worried that I'd get wet, at least I was more worried about Himiko-san herself. That's why I tried to give my towel to Himiko-san. When I did, stop, Satsumi. Huh? This was different from her usual way of speaking. This was a very strict expression that she'd show occasionally. But then Himiko-san would... Okay, I'm fine with getting wet. But... However... Make Satsumi catch a cold and I won't have it. Make Satsumi? Just who was she talking to, I wonder? Now it came down harder. August rain. For some reason it was excessively cold and still didn't seem like letting up. Don't look down on me, alright? I'm not wearing this outfit just for show. This is I'm talking... It's as if we're talking to herself. Himiko-san muttered. I had a feeling I didn't mean physically not getting wet. Instead, some different meaning. Throwing out the spray, the Brewster continued running. Under the endless black sky, went from an ordinary road onto the Mount Fuji skyline. Feel cold? Just say so, okay? Fine. Towel is still on my head. I answered Himiko-san as she got wet from the leaks. Be better if we took shelter somewhere. It was such an obvious suggestion and somehow floated in the atmosphere. Gripping the wheel was Himiko-san that was different from usual. First time I've seen Himiko-san without pajamas. Continued driving. At some point when the rain had completely stopped. It looked as there was even the face of a larger moon out in the sky. Soon we'll arrive at yeah, I'm not gonna try and pronounce that, but I'm assuming Mount Fuji. Those words, we went from a narrow mountain road into a slightly open area. Finally, Yuna stopped. Looking around, there were signs for the fifth station parking lot. During the season, I had heard that there were many mountain climbers. Perhaps it was the time, and because the weather had been bad, but the area had very few cars around. Door opened, then closed with a slam. Here, candle along. It's warm. Thank you. A tea brought from a vending machine in hand. Two of us ate what remained of the packed lunch. Even cold, it's delicious. And it seemed like we were spending the night here. But when we set off, he said that this was our destination. Did he make us plan on going even higher up? Still, plan on going up? Well, I don't know. Well, holding that type of food in hand, Mickelson gave a vague answer. Certainly, up until here, we were able to come by car. According to the parking lot sign, the altitude was already 2,400 meters. But from here on, there were only mountain climbing trails. Even if we weren't planning on heading all the way to the summit, Mickelson, resident on the 7th floor, couldn't be thought of as being able to climb a mountain path. Even then, she said she was aiming for higher. Shouldn't I hold her back? Another click, then slam. Huh? Suddenly opening the door, Himika-san stepped out of the car. Just as I was thinking about such things, I also hurried out of the car. I looked, he was right by the car, looking up at the night sky that had just stopped raining. I was a bit surprised. I thought that she might have started climbing without saying a thing. Perhaps, getting my unease, Mika-san began to speak. Oh, right, once before. So I want a friend from a different age group, right? Certainly before the pineapple tree, being the first thing that she wanted to try. That was maybe a bit of a lie. Lie? Truth is, more than being of a different age group, because it was you, might be why I wanted to become a friend. I guess I somehow seriously, or spoke somehow seriously about what I had somewhat vaguely noticed. That reason was... It's a difficult question, but to put it bluntly, just a gut feeling maybe. Like it rang a bell. It was also something I felt I understood. It was close to the feeling I had answered Chihiro-san with. And then, before, I asked whether she was seeing someone else in me. Toward that half of it was exactly that. And the other remaining half of the reason that had been left a secret at the time. Could this be it? Hey, Satsumi, can I ask you a question? If a person very close to you was gradually getting weaker, would you want to be nearby the whole time watching that? Rather, a time you didn't know, they died before you realized. Would you want that? I thought about the meaning of the question, and after thinking seriously in my own way, I don't know. Those were my true feelings. I think I would want to always be by their side, but if I were in the position of leaving, the opposite. My side, I don't want anyone. That's inconsistent. Exactly. Those leaving and those left behind, never will the two meet. Even if I could bear my own pain, I couldn't bear another's. I want to say that, perhaps. And Chihiro-san, the best friend, we met at the beach, avoiding them. Then why was I here, in this place? Why was I chosen, I wonder? Did Himika-san want to say that if it was me, then she'd be fine? This is, you see, after falling into the hole, something that I first realized. No matter how much I shout that, it's because there is a hole here. Voices of those who had fallen into the hole can't reach those walking on the surface. That was the reason. And did she want to say that because I'd fallen into the hole, voice would reach me? You're different. Huh? You're still in the process of falling. Chance that you will climb back up. And when it's impossible, that's something everyone has to think for themselves. Then the circumstances now, or the result of Himiko-san's thoughts. After falling into the hole, stopping prayers, maybe turn them into curses. Really? Dog was lucky it wasn't. You could go with his beloved Nello together to heaven after all. Nello would be so lonely. Even though I was the professor, I couldn't give an answer. Such a time, if I were a real professor, doctor of the church, like Augustine or Jerome, probably could have answered with something. Then just tell me this. God is where? Huh? Like he didn't hear, even though I prayed in the church. Where was God? And I questioned, my mouth sealed. Sorry, I don't know. See, Professor Nissan doesn't know either. And resting himself on the bed and facing the window, guess he's above the sky. While speaking, she looked up at the sky, looking out from the window that could only open at 15 centimeters, at a lightning pre-dawn sky. Say, Nissan, I want to go to the roof. The roof? I prayed from even a little higher place, or just a little higher place. Maybe I would be heard right by God. I can't. You can, alright. Upon the girl, we headed to the roof. Normally this place was one where patients couldn't go, not allowed to go. However, this time for me, for a lawyer who was unable to do anything other than buy ice cream. A powerless professor who couldn't answer with anything. There was nothing else that I could do. Blue-purple pre-dawn sky was turning to the light of day. A bleak place where no one could be seen. Once in a while, from the blowing wind, the fence was taller than the ceiling of the 7th floor rattled. The place was nice, doesn't it? She spoke as if whispering to herself. From the pocket, she took out the rosary. This was what I'd given her as a present. But this, it won't become magic, right? And then, quietly bringing hands together, facing where the sun would rise, she spoke. Hallowed by thy name, and lead us on to us not into temptation. This too was what I taught her before, never apart from the Lord's Prayer. However, for this girl, she didn't even know the meaning to the words. Simply words of salvation. There's nothing other than magic, that was all she thought of them. Nissan, do you think I was heard now? Those words, nodding or even affirming, was beyond me. I just could do nothing but remain silent. It's useless. Perhaps I should have said that. Perhaps I should have spoken of atonement. Or perhaps I should have said, well, having lived 8 years, be thankful to God. Yes, son, pray with me. Those words I silently nodded. Could do nothing but nod. Then, just like the girl who still continued to pray, to that high sky I offered a prayer. Rainy night air, lightning sky, cicadas that started to call, common everyday things of a summer day. On the 7th floor rooftop I prayed only for the girl. All this half had been used for forgiving myself, but now, gathering all of it, I prayed only for the girl. Definitely supposed to be listening somewhere. Towards that God, I prayed. I suddenly started to sob. Some reason, tears came. Why are you crying? It's fine, crying. At a time like this, it's okay to cry. Those were her words, Lord Jesus. No, those were my words. If I were a saint, if my words were not simply for comfort, nor a charm, they were real magic, then now a miracle would happen. Those leaving and those left behind. I know how much of a best friend Aloy could not become the dog. Learned of my own powerlessness. Dawn came to Mount Fuji's 5th station. Got out of the car and took some big stretches. Hey, Satsumi, where do you think he is? What's this all of a sudden? God and the like. I don't know, you're the specialist, aren't you? Indeed, I was, wasn't I? Then, after a bit of thinking, I suppose over there? As she spoke, she looked up at the sky. Pure blue summer sky stretched on forever. Yeah, might be that if you're not closer, you can't be heard. Saying that, Mixon started walking towards the climbing path. I sensed the responsibility, but already the act itself was the same as suicide. You're serious? Good, isn't it? For Catholics? Formers have nothing to do with that. Then stopping her walking feet and turning around. Sorry, Satsumi. A few things I won't be satisfied until I say them. Say to whom? Isn't it obvious? To that so-called God, some complaints. Complaints? To God? Was she serious? This is the final one. Yes, this is the final one. Just the answer, Mika-san began walking towards the climbing path. Right now, I should be stopping her. Or perhaps I should be giving her back a push. Because I didn't know which. Just being by her side was all I could do. Something come right above, and unheeding of the altitude, cicadas noisily cried. This is harder than I thought. This is very pretty. Continues on the climbing path. Walk a bit, then rest. Walk a bit, then rest. Just repeating that. Occasionally other mountain climbers would quickly pass us by, while we slowly went upwards to the high place that Himiko-san aimed for. That was some 2 hours in, making to lead the new 6th station. Are you alright? Not particularly alright. Just as the words meant, Panting was furious. Even when the food and drinks that we brought up at the shop were being carried by me. Probably didn't need saying, but Himiko-san was a resident of the 7th floor. No matter how healthy she looked, no matter that she didn't need a wheelchair, it was because of her age. Conditioned progression had simply been early. Even without doing anything, there was no mistake that she was within reach of death. What's with that face? You got something to say it straight. Let's go back. Say it with more force. Huh? That's what you want? Go back and order me. Go back? Yeah, looks like I can't obey. Then once again her feet moved to ascend. God damn it, Himiko-san and stubbornness. Right now, I wonder what I should do. Unable to pull it back, was I able to be there, hopelessly watching? Then I'll push you. That was why I pushed Himiko-san's back. So as to not lose to the steep slope, so as to make it even just a bit easier. My own way, this was all I could do. Stop, Satsumi. No. Get sick too. What would that do? It's not like I want that. Then let's go back. That's exchange would be repeated over and over. While slowly, Himiko-san climbed up. Eventually, one day his feet stopped. That was the time that I feared. That time, just what should I do? As the orange stained day, the war nurse turned to the purple of night. This is good. Finally, Himiko-san's feet stopped. We were just beyond the 7th station, perhaps. It was a place with many rocky stretches and a very wide, wonderful view. Looking at my watch, it was already 3 o'clock at night, which meant almost an entire day had passed. As expected from the time and perhaps yesterday's weather, there were no other climbers to be seen. Wait for the dawn, and I'll see it here. Then Himiko-san began walking towards the edge of the rocky stretch. Heading down the edge of the cliff, it was dark and hard to see. Part of the ravine was far enough that you couldn't guess its height. At least if you were to throw yourself out, without a doubt you wouldn't live. Really, we're getting revved up here, aren't we? There's plenty of height too, right? Indeed, about 100 times the 7th floor. Altitude about 3,000 meters. Also, no high fence for protection. Sumi, you have something to ask, now's the time. As those words, a number of thoughts swirled. Even though there should have been a number of questions, for some reason, putting each one into words was difficult. After a moment's thought, I finally opened my mouth. Tell me more about Himiko-san. This was also the question that resulted from all my thinking. Do you want to hear about me, or do you want to hear about someone in my position? About Himiko-san herself. I'm one of the many great Christians in the world. Nothing more, nothing less. But now she was going to say complaints to God. I was probably attempting to break one of the greatest prohibitions. Then, from before, about a dog of Flanders. No matter what, we had to pick one out of the three people. Yes, for people there are no choices. So she firmly said so. One who was leaving, Nello. One left behind, Aloy. Two that will never meet. Then Himiko-san is... which? When I questioned, there was no answer. Little by little, the sky widened in this place. This place where it seemed you could touch the sky. She quietly hung her head. Surely the pajama-wearing Himiko-san was Nello. And the Himiko-san now was probably Aloy. To take a place to God, Nello wasn't allowed to, then that was understandable. Just who was I? What purpose was I brought to this place? Looks like the time's come. Saying that, Himiko-san looked up at the sky. Setsumi, take this. And taking something from her pocket, she handed it to me. A rosary? It's fine if you throw it away. Just I don't have the right to carry it anymore, you see. Just what happened, or just what was that supposed to mean? I didn't have to ask to know. However, up until now, while she saying she was a former, why did she carry it with her all this time? When I thought about it, I felt that deep down, it's not like she really wanted to do this. Is it really okay? It means that if there is a prayer, then there is also a curse. I want you to stop. I can't say that. Depends on the reason. Reason want to pull it back. Even if Himiko-san herself wished to. Even if she was already a resident of the 7th floor. The closed off God, why can I not speak today? The closed off future. If just like with living, people were given the right to die, then a reason good enough to stop that. Just who would have such a thing? I don't even know what is right, what would be kindness. For some reason, I began crying. Being nearby and able to do nothing, came to know how powerless I was. I started to get light. Looking up at the endless sky, I was overcome with sadness. I don't know how much I thought, I couldn't come up with any decent reasons to pull her back. If Himiko-san herself had decided, then I might not have any right to interfere. But even if it were so, if I didn't have a reason for why I should pull her back, because I'll also be sad. Not some random person, because I myself would be sad, because this me here want her to stop. Even if that were even if it were just the one-sided ego or the one left behind. You know, if I could bear my own pain, because I can't bear another's. Because the one leaving being sad, and the ones remaining were pain the most. Moreover, me was still... well, this is impossible. Someone continued. Don't make such a face. When you make such a face, does it make it hard for me too? If I were a saint, if my words were not simply for comfort, nor a charm, but real magic. And now a miracle would happen. I was crying. Sorry, Anisan. Would have been better if we hadn't become friends. The girl stood before me as I continued to cry, and she apologized sadly. There were clear rules about it too. If you come here, you can't make any friends, they said. I'm sorry if I had followed it properly. Anisan wouldn't be crying. And once again facing the sky, the girl started praying. Facing the high summer sky that stretched out forever, she offered a prayer to the god who was probably out there. And that serious figure. The rosary I gave her in hand, believing that the simple Lord's Prayer was a magical spell, that figure. Enough, you don't have to pray anymore. Why? Sobbing wouldn't stop. It's useless doing that. Finally, questioning the words that shouldn't be said came out. So stop. You can't be saved. No matter what you do, you'll die. Then, even as a helper, even Nello's best friend Alois, words that I must never say came out. I know. Then why? Not that, it don't matter anymore. Just for the crane and Isan, for her to stop crying. Quickly, smile like she always did. That's all I want to pray for. Why are you crying? Stupid, you didn't know. A time like this, it's okay to cry. Miko-san cried. A place where it seemed you could touch the sky. It was the first time she showed me tears. Such a time what words I should say? Just what would be kindness? 'Cause I didn't know that. Simply so she would stop crying, even just a little bit sooner, so that a smile would return even just a little sooner. Patting her back, just gently stroking, was all I could do. Stop that. Being consoled by a middle schooler didn't lead such a pathetic life. Don't worry about it. Going by a history of sickness, I'm older than you. Miko-san sniffled. What's with that? You're the younger one. Blue-purple dawn in the sky grew white and changed to a sunrise. Wind that began to blow from the valley made a lonely sound. Miko-san cried. Wind over the ravine also wailed. And probably I, too, was crying. Stopping, saying complaints. She faced the sky and placed her hands together. And this, I'm giving it back. Alright, without this, the effectiveness would be weaker, wouldn't it? And she hung the rosary I returned on her neck. In this high place, to even higher towards the sky, she offered a prayer. Listen well, she seemed to be hard of hearing. Come all this way to do it. Doesn't matter about me now. However, at least because of me, make it so that there are no people who would be forever pained. And even if it's just sooner, let them recover. Just speaking to herself, Himiko-san coolly murmured. There were a number of other words continued on, but for me, I couldn't hear what she was saying beyond that. Perhaps Himiko-san had made up with God? Impression was neither despairing nor compassionate. It was proud and could even be considered beautiful. They're probably those two she said would never meet. One leaving wishes for those left behind. That's all of it. Then she turned towards me. So, that cliched wish, are you disappointed? Gave my head a small shake. Even if it were called cliched. If I were in Himiko-san's position, would I have, in the same way, sincerely wished for those remaining behind? Assuming you're the witness. I am? Yes, the wish comes out wrong. Next time you say complaints on my place, okay? They're gone, all that. Was this the reason for taking me here? Well, half. And the remaining half, I guess, is a secret. Indeed. In that, she thought for a moment. Magic is like that. Magic? Yes, even if there's no effect now, definitely later it should work. Once again, under the morning sky, we hit the roads. Then that, with lunch brought from a convenience store in hand, Himiko-san whispered. We're now going to add one to the rules. Rules? Yes, that's okay to make friends. And taking a rosary from her pocket. Really, I could have given you this rosary. It looks like I still need it, you see. As she spoke, she moved it from my neck to decorated chest. That's why, for Satsumi, I'll give a different thing as a present. A different thing? Yes, the one who decides is you. Now the roadster drove on, and the slope rose slowly towards the city. Behind the wheel was Himiko-san. Not in pajamas, but the usual Himiko-san I knew. What was different from all the times before was the rosary visible on her chest. Hey, Satsumi, let me say one thing. Here on out, no matter who you choose, the very, very end, mustn't kill all the way to even your heart. What's this about? It's fine for now. I'm sure you'll be fine. In the end, you'll be able to smile. Play was what she mentioned before. So-called magic. Well, let's part here. Rolling sound of bells. Stopping the car in front of the church, Himiko-san let me go off. Sumi, no more coming to visit, okay? Yeah? Some words, they were to never meet again, meant farewell. Say, a time like this, I'm left behind. What should they do? Nothing really. Usual is fine. Say it more concretely. The words mean just normally. Be natural. Even though a close person will soon be dying, even though they never meet again. Could those left behind there really be normal? They say difficult things. A smile and see me off. That's even harder. Then, turning her back towards me, Himiko-san started walking towards the church in front of her. Facing that back, asked a final question. Himiko-san, tell me one last thing. Sure. Nello. Lois. Are they happy? That question, Himiko-san silently looked down. Shortly after, just briefly, she glanced at the church, then boldly facing the sky. Which was it, I wonder? Don't really know. While speaking, she gave me a smile. Even though very soon she would probably disappear from this world. In the end, she faced me with her usual smile. Well then. Farewell, Professor Food. So, a friend of 40 days, one summer, disappeared towards the 7th floor. Name Himiko, Princess's Him, and a child's Co. Blood type AB, age 23, Libra, female. Final identification bracelet color, white. In the year 1999, at the world's over 1 billion Catholics, one disappeared. Upon me, a strange nickname and mysterious magic she cast. And from this world, she disappeared. High sun when you look up. Rolling sound of church bells, endlessly a continuing blue sky. Loudly crying voices of cicadas. Even though very soon, the summer would end. Today also looked to be a hot day. That was it. I mean, at least it wasn't as sad as the first side. But, yeah, it's to be assumed that Himiko, eventually passed on. But yeah. Oh, wait, we got an epilogue though. A very long summer ended. Quickly fall past and early Christmas songs were playing in the streets. There was a knock at my door. Assuming a package came. Took the small package from Mother. Normally I wouldn't be receiving any packages. However, there was only one thing that came to mind. Package to be delivered on a certain date. Sent its name with a sense of premonition. Went to check. Eloy. Letters written small with a blue ballpoint pen. It was from Himiko-san. While alive, at what point she sent it out, I didn't know. But she had said that she would give a different thing as a present. Then, trembling with equal amounts of expectation and unease, I opened to look. Oh. Stop! No, you're gonna make me cry! A one-piece dress. Something white with a cute yellow sunflower pattern. Something that she had said numerous times she would buy for me. Thing that I had seemed to want. The one-piece dress spread in my hands. But the window on the hanger were the washed pajamas. The same uniform I was still wearing now. Proof of my once normal days. The only piece of clothing other than pajamas that I owned. My heart swayed. So happy. Before I knew it, I was about to pass my arms through the sleeves. But I stopped my hands. And once again, returning it to the box, I headed to where the person who was more worthy of accepting it was. Elevator bell rang. A place I hadn't come to in a number of months. Passing through the side of the nurse's station, the goal was to find her, but she was nowhere to be seen. In the room that Himiko-san had once been in, it was expected by a nameplate I didn't recognize. Given the old lady in the wheelchair inside a small bow in greeting, I left the 7th floor. While returning by chance, the courtyard came into view. A place here and there, daffodils were beginning to blossom. The other flowerbirds had been left barren in this season. Thought their singly blooming fingers were proud and beautiful. Rolling sound of bells. Sitting here was the first since Himiko-san's funeral. Then I called to the person I'd been searching for. Oh, Chihiro! Of course. Good to see you. If she knew about Himiko-san was passed away, then why didn't she go into Himiko-san's room? Ah, Setsumi-san. It's been a while, hasn't it? What brings you to such a place? Because you weren't in the hospital. Ah, because I've stopped being a helper. When my feelings calmed down a little, I decided to rest. That is honestly good fucking choice. Saying that changed from before, she showed me her calm face. From that expression, thought I might not have a duty. Thought I'd been told that I didn't have to go say any complaints in her place. By the way, what's wrong? Did you come here to pray? That's not it. As I spoke, I took from my tote bag the box with the clothing. A present from your Nissan. Huh? Might be a bit small, but... I see. Thank you. Accepting the box, she gave the reply, but a somewhat troubled expression surfaced. Chihiro-san? I'm sorry. Truth is, I've been told by Nii-chan. What's this about? That maybe Setsumi might come say that to me. Huh? I see, at the time she said to hand this over. Told the bread maps. So this is how she got the map book. So it was actually Himiko-san's all this time. On there were national roads, expressways, countless roads I didn't know the name of. Separate wide maps of all 47 prefectures at a few tens of thousands to one scale. 3,000 to one scale detailed the city maps were drawn on them. Turning the one piece, I received maps. As Himiko-san had expected this, only Himiko-san would know Setsumi the best. Even though we only saw each other for only a month and a half. That I would choose this side. Then, tucked into the maps was a single envelope. What was inside 5 10,000 yen bills. All the puzzle pieces are coming together. That's how she got the 50,000 yen. She hadn't been saving it up. Himiko-san had been and gave it to her. Once while looking at the maps, she had said that with just that much, one could go anywhere. This is for smiling at the end. Any half of the magic. There is a prayer, then there is also a curse. Most likely I would choose neither. I have a feeling I won't be able to choose. Someone like that, just what would become of me, I wonder. And someone like me, I wonder, will I be able to smile someday? And would I be able to smile? And that's it. That is Narcissu. Didn't we already read through this? Hold on. no, this is different. Okay, we're not done with it yet. Okay, on. Gotta save up my tears for the end of this one then. First floor, just before outpatient reception. Walked along the white plastic tape stretched on the floor. Then, at the end of it, I got onto the small elevator. Pressed the button to the highest floor. Seventh floor. To my eyes was the nurses' station. Altogether, a number of nurses looked this way, but once they recognized me, their eyes turned back, as if they saw nothing, turned to their work. The lounge. Recently, it was my usual spot. A large television screen came from some early spring program, with just someone gazing at it. There was nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Since that time, it had been almost a month. It was as if something had changed, but also felt as if nothing had changed. And my parents complained as I had expected. And then, for some reason, from her parents came words of thanks. So this is after the events of the first side, when he finally returned after the trip. The difference between the two sets of parents was impressive. Hello? I turned around, it was a young woman I didn't recognize. And you are? Helper. I was newly assigned to the 7th floor. Pleased to meet you. Cheerfully the girl bowed her head slightly. Seemed to still be a newcomer, but most likely she had also come to ask about that incident. Some of those who were directly involved weren't any that knew the details, but in this hospital some rumours had been spreading. Probably wasn't out of just simple curiosity. Just because of that, various people had come to speak to me. He also knew. No? Yes, I've heard about the incident. I see. Sure that this person was also thinking that I did something stupid. When people listened to my story, for the most part, they frowned. That's why I didn't particularly like telling people. Setsumi-san. In the end, did she smile? Huh? That was so. Then I'm happy also. Fear winter ended. Soon one would be unable to wear button-down clothing. Coming in. How is your health? Today looks pretty good. Though she had her own assignment, she would often come to see me. Well, that's right, you knew about Setsumi. Yes, I was a helper when I was at university, but really a bit then. I see. And so she had a calm, somewhat nostalgic expression. Were you close? I wonder. She wasn't one to show much emotion after all. However, I prayed for her numerous times. That I definitely know who it is. It's Chihiro-san. Prayed? Yes, even now I still pray. That's for whom? For everyone. Words with no hesitation. If it's alright for you too. Epilogue, 7th floor. April. I was looking at the vases decorating the window. Those were the same flowers as the ones we saw that day. She had said that it was rare to find them in season. Even speaking strictly, they were the same. When I asked about them afterwards, they were apparently taken from those blooming in the courtyard. And why was it at the same time? She answered Wajishima, I wonder. She had said it was simply because she was asked. But with her encyclopedic knowledge, she should have known that they were planted at the hospital. Good afternoon. Today the helper girl came also. These flowers, do you like them? Sorta. Beautiful, aren't they? These are daffodils, right? Narcissus. Narcissus? It seems that that's their scientific name. A family of, not even gonna try and pronounce that. They blossom in the winter. One could grow them from seeds. But it takes years to flower, so they are cultivated as bulbs. Then, the language of flowers is self-love. However, whether they were true? Why, you know a lot, don't you? Would you tell me more? Originally the word came from Greek myth. June, thin sky right before the rainy season spread wide. Under the watercolor sky, a temporary discharge had been postponed. Supposed to be my third temporary discharge. Eventually it would be a perpetual postponement. So it's his time now. Are you alright? I'm fine. Apparently, since 2 months ago, no one new had come. Perhaps the timing was bad, but already there were very few people left. Hey, is there anyone new set to come here? Don't really know the details, but heard that for half a year they weren't accepting new patients. I see. There's something about with that? It was most likely our fault. Then, putting my trust in you, I have just one request. Yes, what is it? This is really something you have nothing to do with, but please, I want you to pass this on. Well then. I'll only say this once, so listen well. The rules still pass on, even if there's no one new coming through. But yeah, that was it. Knew it was gonna be sad, but Jesus Christ, it was fucking depressing. But yeah, that is, as I said before, the unfortunate reality for a lot of people who have to deal with terminal illnesses. Yeah, hopefully in the end, Satsumi and Himiko-san were reunited once again, even though they were apart for a few years after the first one's passing, but hopefully they're up there somewhere. Probably wreaking havoc, knowing Himiko-san, but yeah. But yeah, that was it. Yeah. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them, okay? Because you never know how much longer you might have with them. Oh, wait. Still got more. Finally, one more. One more. One more CG. Oh, those left behind. Smile for them. So I was entrusted with the rules. Still unseen true bearer. Sure will soon appear. Sure, even if released from my hands. Always. They will continue to be passed down. Even if there is no one left to pass them on. Dazzling days, those winter days.